Expect fair skies Saturday through Monday with temperatures in the 80s on Saturday.
Good evening, I'm Paul Goodlow. Time now for Storm Watch here in the Weather Channel. This time of the year is tropical season. We always start off with a look at the tropics in our tropical update. And we do have some activity brewing here in the tropical Atlantic and more specifically in the Gulf of Mexico. This is our second tropical storm of the year. This is Tropical Storm Barry here in the Atlantic season. There it is, spinning off of west coast of Florida. Yesterday was a tropical wave, and actually the same tropical wave that earlier this week around, say, I think Sunday, was coming through parts of the Virgin Islands and even the Lesser Antilles, bringing you some winds gusting to 30 miles per hour around St. Croix, and some wind several days ago. And as we mentioned, we're going to keep track of it because once it gets into the Gulf of Mexico, we could see something develop down the line. At the very least, lots of rain here in Florida, and that's what we've been dealing with the last several days here. Enhanced rain, still seeing a lot of rain here in Florida. And as we told you yesterday, if you were watching us, hurricane hunters were scheduled to fly in here today. The Air Force Reservists, they did, and they did discover a strengthening system here, and wind strong enough to classify this as a tropical storm. And here we are, sustained winds right now, 45 miles per hour, and the pressure has actually dropped this afternoon. It was earlier 1,008 millibars. It dropped down to 1,007. Not a drastic drop, but a dropping pressure. Central pressure means that we have possible further development and strengthening of the system. Currently 405 miles southeast of New Orleans, and we're keeping close eye on this because this is where we think our tropical storm will be kind of moving as we go through the next several days through this weekend. And not until Sunday are we talking about a possibility of some possible interaction of the center of the storm with the land. It doesn't mean that even though the center is well off the shore that you're not going to be affected. Florida, we are still being affected by very heavy rain throughout central and southern Florida. Tomorrow, expect that chance to get some rain in parts of northern Florida, perhaps even southern Georgia and southern Alabama. So just because the center of the storm still remains offshore doesn't mean that you're not going to feel the impacts and some effects from this system onshore here. So if you're anywhere from Florida to Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, you need to be vigilant on the situation because it can change over the next several days. And right now, we're not guaranteeing you this is going to strengthen into a hurricane, but you know what? There's a good possibility. It's over the Gulf of Mexico. Warm waters conditions are favorable for, at the very least, potential further development. So it's something we're going to keep an eye on. We have our hurricane experts watching this. In fact, John Hope will be coming up in about 5 minutes at the top of the hour to talk more about this. And here's one of the effects that we're already feeling from our tropical storm. More rain here in South Florida. Miami, the Keys, getting a break now. It doesn't mean that the rain is totally over for you at all. And more rain slowly trying to break up here in Central Florida. But we've seen a lot of rain, just over 6 hours. We're talking about close to 3 inches in Fort Lauderdale, and these are just at some of the reporting stations. There's a huge chunk of Florida that doesn't have reporting stations, and radar estimates of potentially 6 or more inches of rain. So definitely heavy rain and flooding a big threat. We do have some flash flood watches up for much of Central and South Florida tonight and much of tomorrow as well. That's the main impact right now, is the heavy rain.
This program was brought to you by the new Hallmark Channel.
He astonished people with his imagination.
I read every word you write.
Scientific drivel, Mr. Wells. Get out!
He shocked them with his genius.
We'd better prepare for the worst.
What happened?
Amazing.
Now, he'll mesmerize you with his stories.
The like of which the world has never heard.
The Infinite Worlds of H.G. Wells. This month on the all-new Hallmark Channel. To find it on your TV, call 1-866-4-HALLMARK.
How would you like to be able to get any stain off of virtually any surface, guaranteed? Introducing the new Zap Total Restoration Kit. Professional strength restorers, each specially formulated to restore surfaces back like new. Think that ink stain has ruined your expensive Corian countertop? Don't replace it, zap it. Zap even works on impossible stains like hard water and rust. Cleaners only work on surface dirt, but Zap concentrated restorers penetrate deep down, restoring surfaces back like new. Zap is as easy as 1, 2, 3. On tile and grout, just spray it on, let it sit, and wipe it off. On vinyl and linoleum floors, just spray it on, let it sit, and wipe it off. Hard water stains on glass shower doors, spray it on, let it sit, and wipe it off. Watch as we use Zap on this old brass fixture.
Well, Tropical Storm Barry is now moving very slowly through the eastern Gulf of Mexico, and it could become a hurricane within the next few days. It's something we will have to watch very, very carefully. Let's go ahead and show you what's happening now, and the system is very disorganized at this point. It is undergoing some southwesterly shear. Now, ideally, for a tropical system to develop, you want light winds at several levels of the atmosphere. In this particular case, because we have this southwesterly flow here, we are getting a bit of shearing, and that's beginning to tilt the center of the storm just a little bit. So it's not terribly well organized at this point. You don't see a lot of deep convection or thunderstorms around the center, which is right about here. We have seen a lot of very deep convection and a lot of heavy rain off to the east here in Florida, and with that, some serious problems with flooding. And we'll talk more about that in just a moment. First, though, the very latest numbers for you as of 10 p.m. Central Time, 26.8 north, 85.6 west. If you're tracking at home, winds 45 miles an hour. It is moving to the northwest at 6, and that very slow movement is expected to continue. Closer look at the storm for you once again, and again, there's not a lot in the way of thunderstorms near the center, but there's a very clearly defined center right in here, although we do think that the center is beginning to tilt somewhat as you go up in the atmosphere, so it's not terribly well organized, that's for sure. Now, we think that the main factor, the governing factor here as regards its movement over the next several days is going to be a big ridge of high pressure in the middle of the country. Around that high, we've got a clockwise flow, so a generalized easterly flow here, and that should take the storm along towards the west here. We think towards the Louisiana coast by late Saturday, and it could in fact be a hurricane by the time Sunday rolls around. Now, this is not certain. It never is, as you know. So you need to watch the system very carefully if you live in Florida, if you live in Texas, anywhere along the Gulf Coast here. But this is what we're thinking at this time, and again, it could be a hurricane by the time the latter half of the weekend rolls around. In the interim, it's going to continue to produce very heavy rain. There could be some coastal flooding as some of that water piles up along the coast here, anywhere from central Louisiana right on into Destin, Florida. And we also have gale warnings in effect anywhere from the Mississippi River, again over towards Destin, Florida. Now, the other big story, once again, has been very, very heavy rain. There has been a lot of rain, especially in the southern and central part of the state of Florida. And we've got another round here, very large storms beginning to move on into Naples. So the wet weather and the stormy weather is going to continue, and the rain has been just torrential here in many areas. In fact, right along the southeast coast, West Palm and towards Fort Lauderdale, we're talking about 6 to 8 inches of rain, according to Doppler estimates. We've got a list for you here of some of the official amounts. 3 inches in Fort Lauderdale, Fort Pierce picking up just about the same, 2.8 in Vero Beach, and Pompano Beach with just under 2 inches of rain. And again, that rain continues at this hour, and for that reason, we do have flash flood watches in effect, and that's something we're going to have to watch out for here in the central part of the state as we go on through the night and again right on into tomorrow. We talk about the rest of the tropics here, and things are fairly quiet in the Caribbean. We do see a couple of waves here, one about here, another one here, another one here. Areas to watch, but nothing of great concern at this time. Back stateside, cold fronts dropping on down through the Midwest. Along with that, scattered showers and storms here in parts of Missouri and Illinois and extending into Ohio. You'll see more of that tomorrow as that boundary continues to work along towards the south. It is now mostly moderate rain in and around St. Louis. We'll talk more about this and the rest of your weather coming up in just a few minutes. Stay tuned.
The bow. Resistance becomes strength. Becomes power. The power to change and reshape your entire body. This is Bowflex, an entire gem-in-one easy-to-use machine. So powerful, it delivers over 60 health club quality exercises with up to 410 pounds of resistance in any room in your home. Strength training with Bowflex is so effective that we guarantee you'll get the results you want in 6 weeks or less. One simple workout. 20 minutes a day, 3 days a week. You can target every area you want to work on. Upper body, abs, lower body, and even aerobic exercise. Bowflex is real. The results are real. And you can own one with no money down and payments as low as $33 per month. For a free video and brochure, call or go online at bowflexdirect.com. Do the research, listen to real customers, then place your order online and get started. Working out with Bowflex is easy and it's effective. You can get results like tighter abs, firmer legs, stronger arms, and a great...